Yes, yes. What's up, my people? Welcome, welcome, welcome. The Collective Bargaining Podcast.
That's right. That's right. What's happening, everyone? Um, it's the day before, days before the storm. Let's
Days
just call it
before the
that.
storm.
Yeah.
Yes.
As you can see, we got a big February 3rd coming. Um, not too long from now. We got the legend himself, Karani James,
The
entering the
Jaguar.
fray. That's right, the Jaguar himself. For those of you that would be new to the show or new to athletics, Karani James is a living legend. He's one of the most decorated 400-meter runners of all time. Comes from the island of Grenada, and coming from Grenada, such a small island of less than 120,000 people, and getting
Boop,
to the
boop, boop.
top of your sport is
Yeah, that's
something
crazy.
that is simply not common. So we will chop it up with Karani James. Again, just want to point out too that this is not going to be a straight interview. This is going to be a conversation, where we chop it up together with Karani,
Yeah.
and get insight from him if he wants to ask us any questions, and say anything on his own. He's allowed to do that. And as we said, as guests on this show, they can. I mean, at some point, you got to give them the red card, man. I mean, not the red card, but the pass, the diplomatic
You gotta get
pass.
him. You gotta get him the pass.
Yeah, the diplomatic pass, which enables him to chop it up whenever he needs to and come on the show. So, we're really looking forward to this. This is a big one. Again, it seems like this year we just
Yeah,
been,
like we said,
man.
killing it. Like we
I
said,
know,
it's not
right?
an interview. It's a conversation.
That's right. That's right. Not an interview.
Yeah.
So, don't, and we try not to do what others have done. So we'll give props to those that did it before us if they have. But
Yeah.
definitely, we hope to bring him on here along with Kyron Batiste and have, a great show, great conversation about his life, how it's, just proceeded forward, and the things he's accomplished, and also too, we want to talk about the ups and downs too, not, in a sense on the track. I think everybody knows Karani's struggles, and that's been publicly shared across the board. So we're not gonna talk too long on those subjects, but we definitely, there's some things on the track. You know how we
That
do it
we
on
need
this
to
show,
know.
right? We love the
Yeah.
sport and we love to dive in deep. So
Yeah.
if you're looking for that depth in an interview about the sport itself and just getting a sense of what Karani goes through when that gun goes off to when, he
When it
just
crosses that finish line.
blazes through like a jaguar to finish line. Exactly. We're going to be
Yeah.
diving into that aspect. And there's so much to cover. So really make sure you tuned into that show on Thursday at same time. So, 7:30 Central. If
That's
you live
right.
in the Midwest, etc., and then the Eastern time zone, that would be 8:30. And if you're in the Caribbean, Grenada, Dominica, St. Vincent, St. Lucia,
9:30.
Trinidad, Guyana, that would be 9:30 your time. Exactly. So do not miss that show coming to you live on Thursday. Me and your man Logs will be definitely diving into this show and getting it done. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
doing
can't,
it
I
big.
can't, I can't wait. We got a whole. This is our special guest, and
That's
we got
that's
a
right.
we got a whole big celebrity coming on to the show. It's gonna be crazy.
That's right. It's gonna be crazy, and I'm looking
Can't wait for
forward
that.
to because there's an aspect to the show as well. There's another guest on the show, as you can see on the screen here. There's Kyron, who's going to be coming on with Karani as well. Now, Kyron, the last time he was on, I think we had Eton, and
Yeah, we had
Eton is
Eton.
a former NBA player, but honestly, Kyron is also the professional ball player as well,
Yeah,
and that
most people don't
takes.
know that.
Most people don't know this, and he has played for professional ball clubs. So at the same time, so having two professionals on the show all at once to chop it up, as I said, is going to be amazing. Let's do this. We don't disappoint, right? So,
Yeah, we try our
so
best not to.
that's definitely the case, man. So looking forward to that, and hope you join us. Okay, make sure and join us. Yep. Now, we
Now
have
to
hit
the
February.
Now to the gritty. The nitty
We have
gritty.
hit February, man. So, um, what has been happening, man? Talk to us. Talk to us in
Well,
the
first of
NBA.
all, I just want to go through the games that we did on Friday,
Right, right.
and I have to say that I'm prepared to take my shot.
Thank you. Notice I didn't even let me tell you how
You,
confident I was, man. Let me tell
man,
you.
you
So
forgot.
before the
You
before the
forgot
show, I didn't forget. Let me prove that I didn't forget here, folks.
this, brother.
I got a drink with me. This is carbonated water. So that's the
Mhm.
furthest thing from alcohol that you could have. It's pretty much water, right? That's just carbonated, infused, right? And then on top of that, to make sure that I'm taking in his drinking process, okay, I brought some popcorn. This is the
Oh
ultimate viewing
wow.
material, folks.
Oh
So you
wow.
think I was going to miss it? I knew I got the games. I didn't have to second
Mm,
guess. And I'm about to
mhm.
go on the. Remember last week, tune in to the last show, people, where I said I was the greatest person on the show in terms of avoiding drinking every week from losing. I have the greatest streak 3 weeks in a row that's yet to be beaten.
Oh my
Sorry.
God.
So
You
I'm
got
here eating some
streaks.
popcorn
Okay.
while he drinks. So tell us what's in the drink, man. Tell us.
Today we have a little feature. Since some men think, I dilute my alcohol, I'm going to pop a brand new bottle of
Hey,
Clark's Court coconut rum. I'll pop a new bottle. Hey, you're gonna hear the crisp and it'll pop the new bottle. Okay. Yeah. Pour out.
I'm deep in the popcorn, guys, right on the show. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I'm just gonna take it in. Now, if you're new to this, of course, pretty much every show we
Cheers.
leave with a bet on NBA games, and the person that comes into the new show who has the least right
Ooh, that is
then
smooth.
has to take a shot of a drink. So normally he has the under the counter, but there have been some serious questions about the quality and the
About
alcohol volume in that under the counter. So
I don't
that's
know
been
how you could
questioned.
question. I don't know how you
So
could question it under the counter.
you know
Like,
it.
if anybody has had it under the counter, they would know there's
Nah,
no
you a smile.
questions about
You.
the
There were too
alcohol.
many smiles. No, don't get me wrong. Under the counter is nice, so I could imagine you smiling. But people thought that it looked too smooth, man. You having to drink it every week, so it looked way too smooth, and people
I
were
mean,
starting to question that.
So
So
let me ask you a question. If you run
yeah,
a mile for the first time, you never run a mile before, you're gonna be like,
that's
so
right. I see where this is going.
at
That's
2 weeks of running a mile, you're just gonna be like,
that
yeah,
is true when not hosting a podcast, but you see, because you have millions of viewers looking at you, while you're doing it. That's a different level. And people thought you had that look like if it was water you were drinking, man,
I
and people were
mean,
just like,
at this point, all these losses, it's like
they're
water.
starting to stack up, man. They're starting to stack up. I'm telling you,
It's
man. I'm
thankfully it
telling
was
you.
only 3 in a row. Thankfully,
Yeah, man, it's gonna get worse, man, because now you starting that another streak. That's all I needed to do, smell another victory. So, but glad that's done.
yes,
Um,
there's Ja.
where where is the NBA right now, man? Because we're getting a lot of news. But in terms of the Ben Simmons trade, we are seeing that. We'll start with the Sixers, by the way. Um,
Right.
Ben Simmons so far has been fined $19 million, right? That is a huge portion of his check, right? He could lose.
But
He's in line to lose 12 million more.
yeah,
Okay, you would think that he would suit up, get on the court, and try to up his trade value. So it's easier for him to get out of there.
right.
My intuition is telling me that if Ben Simmons was on the court since we had the what looked like a cell phone drama,
Right.
right? If he had performed since then, like we think he could, he would
Right.
be already out of Philadelphia by now. Meaning, teams would be assured of his performance. They would then increase his trade. He would then increase his trade value, and then he would be out the door by now. But what you have in return is a player that's been locked down since last season, pretty much. Even though he's been training, we know an actual game is at a, you need game time to really be playing at a high level.
Right.
And there's been no change. There's been no change from that status. It's just been a back and forth between the teams, GM. The coach has been relatively silent on the matter. But so, what's your take on what's going to happen here with Ben?
All right. So here's what I think. You made the point of saying that if he played, increase his value, but
Yeah.
it can also decrease his value.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
Right. But what I think he was going for was, if he let's just look at let's look like a hypothetical. He plays well.
Mm-hmm.
They are one of the top 4 teams in
Right.
the East.
Right.
They make it to the conference finals.
Yeah.
Maybe even push it. This is just hypothetically. Reach to the NBA finals. Would you, as the Sixers, still trade him? No.
Actually, yeah. Knowing that if this player is willing to sit out his contract, willing to go all the way and lose the money to stand up. I mean, we talk about it all the time, right? Player power is greater than team power at the moment. And players like Kyrie,
you're gonna watch a player help us reach the NBA finals and be like, do I still want to trade it?
If he does, that's the thing. If he helps you to the NBA finals, right? Theoretically, you've increased your trade value up, and now we're not here sitting down like I've done for most of these episodes saying he's not worth that. He's not worth that. No, this is
you're gonna get a James Harden deal.
Well, you get a
James
Harden deal. Now it seems like you could get any deal that's out there. Teams would be like, okay, this guy is legit. We could do this. This is not the no shot guy.
He's legit.
I don't know that I don't know that this guy's legit. At this moment, I don't know that Ben Simmons is a guy that could take you to the final. All I know is there's a solid player that has the ability to take you into the playoffs. But when he gets to the playoffs, there's an issue with spacing with the player. There's an issue with the ability to want
that comes down to what we spoke about like a lot. It's like when you zone in on players, you take away what they want, especially because in the regular season, you could get that.
But he's had
playoffs.
Right.
Yeah.
But we know that he was working on that shot, right? So my true belief is that Ben was not going to come into this season and become the same player. To me, that was a moment in time that was career defining for him, in a sense that he's always been known as a player not wanting to take those shots, right? I think that was the chip that was going to break him out to be a player that was going to be forced to take those shots. It's not like the team wasn't supporting him despite all the chemistry issues that we know they have. It's not like those players didn't want him not taking those shots. It's like, dude, come on. Take more of these shots in the regular season so you could build that confidence, so it's not something that's different to you in the playoffs, because that's effectively that was going on, right?
I never understood like what was going on.
And
you could always, like what he was saying now, he can always back it into like mental health.
Exactly.
What's his case right now? Because all those years, he's never wanted to take that shot. So you could always say, I've never felt comfortable. I was never in the right mind. So it builds his case to what he's saying.
In all fairness, though, against his case, when it comes to that, yes, you can plant a mental case for not wanting to take the shots, right? But what about the fact that, I mean, this is the NBA. This is the top of the top, where you're gonna have to do that. You're gonna have to have a mentality that allows you to break past your place of comfort. Eventually, it didn't happen in those playoffs, which I'm fine with, but it's how you deal with it after, right? And I get it. We're seeing a player right now. Let me tell you, man, not many people in the place where he's at right now would be able to deal with this mentally. right?
No.
It's just now it's escalated to the fans, to the
Especially after the
yeah.
playoffs, the last playoff series.
It went to a place where you have to be already in a superstar mindset where this is part of the game. I'm gonna adapt. I'm gonna get this done. You already made it where most on this planet that ever lived can't. So at the end of the
He
day,
made it on talent alone. It wasn't really like,
and that's a blessing too. Imagine
right?
you just made it
Being
on
that talented.
talent where
Yeah, and
most
not
on this planet. That's like okay. That's the equivalent to me of jogging the qualification time to get into the Olympics and never having run at local meets. In other words, let's say you're from Grenada, you coming on the scene, you never run Carifta, Intercall, so nobody knows about you. You just been chilling and that's it, just running every morning on the beach. And then one day you're like, you know what, let me go try out. A friend say, man, you look fast when you're on the sand, why you go try out for the Olympic team, man. You go to the meet for the Olympics, one of the qualification meets, and you set a personal best that's probably just off a record time for the country.
Yeah.
And everybody's looking at you. This guy's talented. That's what I think about Ben. So at the end of the day, the sky's the limit in terms of what you could add to your game, right?
Yes.
So
that is correct.
I don't know, man. I honestly, from my perspective, this guy has just the sky ahead of him. And I hope honestly that he's able to get it together and play some ball, man. And
but
if
he
it's
has
for
to
another club,
right now he has to play hardball.
He has to. Yeah,
he already started.
Well, you're already there, so yeah.
So have to.
I hope a trade comes around that can be done. That can be done.
Well, we won't know because they want to hold out until September,
and that's sad. That's sad.
That's a whole year without Ben.
This is crazy, man. This is crazy. Yeah. So I don't know where this goes, but it's just sad to see a player like that. I think of that.
Yeah,
talent,
I think you're wasting a year.
Yeah, it's just too much to me. I think it's too much. So we'll see where it goes. In terms of actual trades, really and truly, I haven't seen much at all regarding that. So it's again,
I haven't seen anything myself.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, I just think that I just hope he gets through, because that'll be something else. What else is going on? Anything else popping up on your radar in terms of last minute moves?
Not last minute moves, but DeAndre Ayton is gonna who missed the last 7 games with an ankle injury. Is supposed to be warming up tonight against Brooklyn. When was that game? Is that game now? I think soon.
Yeah,
it's gonna be soon.
Yeah, it should be
so
soon,
he's gonna be playing tonight. So both him and Jay Crowder are gonna be playing tonight against the Nets.
Okay.
I mean,
as I say, man, that should be those guys, and I think that game is at 10 Eastern, so one of those late games. But no, it should be good seeing them back and ready to play. I think really the state of the league, it's been interesting, right? From a sense that so many injuries, so many players missing time due to of course, COVID protocols. I don't know if to believe what I'm seeing from the NBA tables, from the brackets right now. What it's done is it's effectively thrown everything in flux, right? So you look at the Bulls at the top of the East. I think most people are now in agreement with me that the Bulls, as constructed, will not win a championship, right? And yet they sit, I would say, relatively comfortable at the top with Kevin Durant out.
I wouldn't say comfortably. The Heat were on top. They lost the game, and so they kind of switching back and forth. I'd say the Suns are comfortably at first in the West.
Yeah, in the West, right? They have a couple games. Yeah, they have a couple games, of course. 3 games.
Because the Nets are in 6th right now.
Yeah,
6th. Right?
I love that. I actually love that.
Right. So here's the thing: the Bulls and the Nets are only separated by 2 games.
Yeah, yeah.
And the Nets are in sixth.
Yep.
Right? After that, the Hornets are 4 games back on the Bulls.
Yeah.
So which means they're 2 games back on the Nets. So the race, the battle right now is 1-6.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, a couple games, and remember, Durant is still not back. And as I've said, the Nets are beatable in every sense of the word. So hey, shout out. I think we got some comments. Hey, shout out to Mika. Shout out. Micah. I keep saying Mika. Why do I say Mika, man? I'm not sure.
Know, it's the American in you.
Yeah. Whoa. Ooh. No comment. But let's go. You know, funny enough. Someone brought it to my attention, man. So, you know, I think people see you home and stuff, but the time split has actually been almost even between me growing up home and being here. Not many people realize that. Yeah. It's almost split. Damn. That's when you know
it's a long time,
you lose track. You lose track, man. People watch you home. They see you because, you know, you pop in for 2 months. You don't come for a week or so. So people see you lying, you know, or hanging out for some time, and they feel like you're home. But no, I wasn't there all those times, man. So
that's facts, though.
For those people in college, man, hey, you have to learn how to finesse the system. So I'll give you I pulled off something. I'm not sure how many people have done it, but I worked out a deal between my university here and SGU. Took my exams at SGU so I could leave my college here and spend summers home. So I used to do my coursework and exams down in SGU, even though those universities don't have a relationship, right? So you know what it is, man. So
I see you,
Caribbean warrior, yo. I will keep it thorough and
keep it Caribbean, bro.
No doubt. Hey, shout out to Six as well. You know, he said, "Don't disrespect my heat."
Yo, Sekou always with his heat. Even when they were the worst team in the NBA, though, disrespect my heat, fam.
Respect to him, man. Respect to him because honestly,
you are consistent.
He was there when I was just a passerby.
Yeah.
He was there when I was just a passerby and just taking in the games, you know. So yeah, definitely, you know, I would say, yeah, hey, that's props on supporting the Heat through thick and thin, man. That's how you do it, you know. I'm a self-admitted passerby with LeBron. That was it for me. Once he left, I was going back to Cleveland. Man, so
you're a player supporter. You're not a team supporter.
That's right. I ain't got time to support these organizations with these dirty owners and whatnot. No, I ain't got time for that, man.
What is loyalty?
Loyalty to the player, man? I'm not loyal to some bricks and mortar, man. Forget that stuff, man. Yeah, only. Well, I'm not. You know what? Before someone who understands comes on and embarrasses me, I do support Manchester United. So yeah, so I guess I'm guilty of that.
I was about to bring that up.
I'm coming out openly and say that. So in the NBA, it's just a little different. But the NBA is different, right? Five players on the court. You know, players are larger than life. You know, you tend to want to support a player and their game because they affect the game in so many ways, right? More.
Because it's less guys on the field.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, you know, it's much easier in that regard. Heat lifer, man. Yeah, we know you're a Heat lifer, man.
Yeah, we know. There ain't no doubt about that.
Yeah, we know.
Ain't no doubt.
So I think we were talking about the table, right? So the Bulls, so they sit on top. The Heat there, they're exchanging positions. You have the Sixers that are almost even with them as well.
Which is weird because Embiid has been injured.
Yeah.
And they've still been winning.
I love this because imagine starting off the playoffs. Now, a lot of games to go, right? But imagine starting off the playoffs with the Nets versus the Bucks or the Nets versus the Sixers. You have the possibility of this mix right now.
This is true.
And
that's going to be a good first round series.
Exactly. So I like this mix. You could have the Bulls versus the Raps, and don't get me wrong, we criticize the Bulls, but they can play ball. But the Raps can step up with
The
championship
Raps can
experience.
surprise you.
Can
They got
surprise
some
you.
good
Yeah,
players.
yeah. And then you got obviously you got a super playoff playing game that
Yeah.
could potentially happen with the Celtics and the Hawks. They've been
7,
steady
8,
there, but
9,
the
and 10.
Knicks
Yeah.
are not far off. In terms of just off of those teams, they're a half game back of the Hawks. So
Yes.
the Knicks are not very far. Now, if I'm the Knicks and I'm Thibs, and I'm thinking, man,
Yeah,
we can get into this play-in,
They
right?
need
And
to
if
get
we
rid
can,
of players.
I'm looking at 7 through 10. They're all.
Okay.
I think the only team that's not beatable in that 7 through 10 is actually the Hornets. Now, some may disagree with me, but I think the Hornets play a solid, consistent enough game that I'm actually a bit shocked that they're still in 7th. I would
They
have them
play a
higher
solid
based on
game.
the way they play.
But don't forget, they're only 2 games behind the Nets.
Exactly.
Right?
So if they can sneak into that playoff, the Knicks, right, and you can get the Bulls first round, I'm having a serious talk with Randall. I'm like, you need to rediscover your bubble mode, man. You need to fix whatever is going on with
trade
the game.
Randall.
The thing is,
happen.
would you, as a GM right now, would you take Randall?
No.
Yeah, exactly. So he's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. And fans are not giving up a star for Randall either, because the asking price is definitely going to be, give me an all-star for Randall.
He has all-star money. He's getting paid all-star money.
Exactly. So you as a GM...
I did see a potential trade today. The Knicks
for Randall?
No, not for Randall. Kemba Walker.
Okay.
And who was the other one? Walker and Burt for Westbrook.
Okay. For Westbrook, does the salaries match up?
I'm not sure if the salaries exactly match up, but they were the main guys in the trade.
I mean, a Walker trade doesn't make them very good on defense at all. That's my main gripe there, right?
Has Westbrook been playing defense?
No, but not maybe I would say he's still playing above Walker's level in terms of consistency. But we know what Walker can do, right? I mean, at any given time, this guy could drop 40 on your head, That's
we know what Westbrook could do too. It's just that it's showing up more on because he's on LA.
That's actually interesting. It's very interesting that you mentioned that. Would I pull a trade like that? Honestly, no. I'm not convinced that would be a trade that I would want to do, personally speaking. But
as the Knicks, would you do it?
Absolutely. Because what you're going to be doing is, for the first time in a long time, you're going to be bringing in, some people would argue, what used to be, I would say he still is, a superstar, right, to some degree. So it's going to excite the fans. And maybe his play, his energy is able to not necessarily transform the Knicks, right? But it's able to electrify the Knicks themselves, get a spark going just in time to get into the playoffs.
They can get into the playoffs.
Yeah. So I think definitely a guy like that would be a nice, a guy to have that gives you that superstar potential. And even if we know what Westbrook does, right? He's been a guy that by himself almost, if he's running at high speed for the season for you, at full throttle, then he can put you in that, maybe 5th, 6th seed, So if I'm the Knicks, I'm looking at my current roster, what they're doing and how they're stinking it up, with no future superstar immediately in sight, despite having cap space over the years. Go for it. Get Westbrook. Westbrook in New York would be daily news, to be honest, out there in NYC.
It really would. It'll be daily news like how it's daily news at Lakers.
Well, yeah. But I think in a different
but
sense.
for a different way,
Yeah. I don't think. Well, now you don't have the LeBron cloud hanging over you to perform like that every night.
Exactly.
I think it's more. But we know that this could sour very easily. Just imagine what Randall did, right? Now swap him out with Westbrook answering questions the way he has for this season. Now the difference is you're not going to get an apology from Westbrook. But
no.
Westbrook,
get what you get.
Westbrook will be chewing gum, checking his text, ignoring your questions. I mean, he'll probably flip off and get into a tussle with some fans that want to stop him from dancing despite having a losing record. So that would be absolute showtime, man. Absolute showtime. So yeah, exactly. You got it.
Yo, I love Russ.
You got it. Yeah, no, man. I'm not sure, man. But if I'm the Lakers, I would be eager to pull the trade off. To be honest,
I don't know. I think they should just hold the squad.
Yeah.
At this point, what you could do?
You got an ultimatum, right?
There's not much you can do.
Vogel or Westbrook, man. Pick one.
I would say Vogel.
All right, so let's get rid of Vogel, man. Then Vogel it is. Vogel it is. Then I'm cool because now you have someone who could give you a better rotation. I think you get the improvements. You get the best of both worlds at that point.
Well, you hope you get somebody with better rotation.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, because how I see it is as a team, you're not really switching up the chemistry, but you're switching up the coaching, which is slightly different because you could tell a guy, all right, you go play the 4 instead of his natural position is the 3. So it's gonna be like, well, I'm out of position, coach. Yeah. But he knows how he plays with the other guys, and he knows he can play well. So that's how I would see it, because you need a little bit more consistency, especially if you're trying to win a title.
Exactly.
You need guys that know how to play with each other. You need the chemistry. You can't just go breaking up the chemistry midway through and expect. I mean, this ain't Paul Gasol when they traded for Paul Gasol. The Lakers, and it just happened instantly, like they were waiting.
No.
It's not that. So most times you need that kind of consistency to go along, especially if you want to win a chip.
Yeah, I know he has done it before. It's interesting, right? Because I think there is a different element to, let's say, LeBron's system, right? That has worked in the past. He's played with Ilgauskas, right? Who was a big, reliable, versatile European center. And since then, if you think back, he hasn't really done that. Hasn't had one, right? Yeah. To me, in the NBA, there are more than a few European big men that can shoot the ball, do some things on the court. If you can't solve the shooter issue, why not go for, I would say a near elite or a functional, versatile European big man, right?
So I think that's what they were going for with Marc Gasol.
And it was just too late. It was just too late.
It was like a year too late.
It was bad. It was bad. Yeah. And, so I think going to that, I think that's the alternative to the shooter issue. That would be nice to see, but as I said, in his case for Gasol, that was way too late, man. We saw the curtains, right? We saw that it was too late. So, but yeah, no, that would be interesting to see. I don't know where they go from here in that situation, other than maybe a coaching change. To be honest.
Yeah, because we're not gonna get any rotation. It's not unless there's this drastic epiphany, and he's like, all right, you know what? Let me scrap everything I'm doing.
Yeah.
Let me try to have some different rotations and be like, all right, look, you guys play together. You guys say you play well together. Let me throw you out there, see what happens. But I mean, and hope some guys stay healthy, because LeBron ain't healthy right now.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't understand, man. Mr. Street Clothes came back for one game and injured himself in the same game. How is that even physically possible?
Lakers.
And when I saw the play, and I was like, "What? I've seen guys fall. How are you injured?"
To me, and this is what I'm saying, right? the Lakers are crazy to not explore trading Davis. Now, some people will look at and say, in this situation, you're crazy because you have a 37-year-old LeBron James.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at it from that perspective. I'm looking at it, you have to look at securing your future. You have a club that has no picks, right? Until 26, 27. Now, consider this. The injury rate at which we've seen Davis play, right? Davis and Kerr, it's at a high level. He's injuring himself, and the type of injuries, it leaves you questioning, like, these are things we see guys in their prime take bumps and just walk through. You know?
Man, the man dunked and he fell. He hit his hand. I don't even know how to explain.
Yeah.
Like, he dunked and then it was, my wrist. I was like, you're out of the game?
Yeah.
You're out of the game?
It's I think there's a fundamental issue there with the player that they haven't been able to solve. And I honestly would look at the fact that, can you rely on this guy? The question is, can you rely on this guy for the remainder of his career in LA? I don't think so. And we heard rumors of these trades coming in, for Davis from Boston and other teams. I would explore that Jaylen Brown trade. Jaylen Brown is a legit star. Send him to LA. Put some picks in the mix.
Solid.
Get a third team. Now the worry is that you give Jason Tatum, a superstar, right, on his side, like Davis, a new city, etc. And now you've given the team that is almost even with you in championships. Are they even? No, the Lakers are one up, right? One or two up? They're one up.
I think they won up when when they won the last chip.
The bubble championship, yeah. So you've now given that team in the East the keys to the chip. But here's this, right? Even if you added a Davis to Boston, I'm interested in hearing you give us your opinion on that. Is that a championship team?
No, it's probably a second rounder.
Right.
It depends on how much they have to give up. So like, we know we're giving up. All right, you're giving up Brown, but are you also giving up Smart? Or are you also giving up another piece?
I'm actually wanting a third team rather than I'll take probably a pick and Brown from Boston. But for the rest of pieces, I would be more interested in sending guys like Smart and others to a third team to get some alternative pieces. Now, the reason for that is I'm also trying to weaken Boston in the trade. I'm not trying to keep that team together and keep defensive pieces like Marcus Smart around. No. You got
not trying to make Boston any better.
No. Not that type of winner. So at the end of the day, I think they definitely have to look at. I would trade 80, man. I would trade 80. It's not a hate. It's just more of I'm looking at what we've seen so far, and it's not too far off of what we've seen in New Orleans, right? So
just run the small ball. Have LeBron bring it up.
Yeah.
LeBron or Westbrook bring it up. Space the floor.
Yeah, space the floor. Open up your offense, because he's not a center.
Brown can shoot it.
And again, it raises so many questions. How did AD get to the top 75 team selection? I'm just I can't understand. I don't understand it. That is the worst blunder in probably league. It's one of the worst blunders in league history. You celebrated.
He got there because he won a chip, all right?
Man, wow.
He got a chip.
So did Dwight. So did Dwight.
And Dwight got 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 defensive player of the year.
Crazy.
That's like 3 scoring titles.
The disrespect is real when it comes to that. So, but nonetheless,
2 slam dunk championships.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. So you can't please these folks, man. I'm telling you. So we'll see where it goes, but I would explore that, because I think that's more of. I don't think that you can move Westbrook. I don't think it's realistic. We talked about New York and maybe a few other places. I think ultimately Westbrook should end his career in OKC. That's the crowd that has.
We're gonna send him back to OKC to retire.
Yeah, I think that's the crowd that really appreciates what he's brought to the table. I think they respect him still there. He left on good terms. He brought stars in when they really didn't seem like they had a chance. Remember Paul George heading to OKC? And had they won,
he did choose OKC over the Lakers, right?
Yes, over the Lakers, and on top of that, extended. Now, it's unfortunate, right? But I think they win any one of those series in those years where they lost, and Paul George still remains there and doesn't go to the Clippers.
But don't forget he was pandemic P at that time.
Yeah, he was pandemic P. That's true. So for me, I think Westbrook goes back there, and ends his career there, sets a few more records there, and really performs well. But we'll see how it. I think Lakers should be looking at that sentimental type trade, where you try to offload him there. OKC cannot.
They'll do that next season.
Yeah. So I think look at that because it's more of a situation. Okay, come on, man. I used to live 2 hours outside of OKC, man, and to be honest with you, a star is not gonna go to OKC. Okay?
Nobody's
gonna
go to OKC.
No, they're not gonna go to OKC. So at the end of the day, try to send a superstar there. Do that city a favor. Send Westbrook there, and let him ball out the rest of his career.
OKC was wrong to let go of James Harden in the first place and break up the big three.
That's how it started. That's how it started.
Those guys just got to the finals. Yeah. You got to keep that team together, bring them back to the finals. You don't break them up.
You don't break it up.
Because you don't want to pay some luxury tax?
Crazy.
That's what you don't want to pay?
Crazy.
Luxury tax?
Crazy. Yeah. Yep. Crazy. So
now you lost all your guys. All of them were MVPs.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yep. It's incredible. What could have been, right? What could have been, so
one of the greatest what ifs.
I know, in league history.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they would not be the same players that they were now, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, you never know, right? You'd be, maybe they're different in a sense that, some become more compliments than they became. So you're right in that sense that they would not have, maybe one or two of them maybe don't become the players that they did. Maybe Westbrook doesn't achieve.
I don't think James would be the scoring machine he is now. I think he'd be a better facilitator. He would still be able to score the ball.
Yeah, but not
KD would still be KD.
Yeah. I think maybe KD becomes even more of what you see as KD. I mean,
he might score more.
When you think about it, right? Honestly, because these guys had a shot stopper on the inside, and all of this was done through
the draft.
Yeah. So you had time. You had Ibaka. You had KD. You had Harden and Westbrook. That's incredible. That potentially that could have been 4 Hall of Famers right there. Now because of how Ibaka's career has gone, I'm not sure what's his percentage of getting in. I don't think
that's true.
He can at this point.
He has a chip, but I don't think that's enough.
I don't think it's enough given his numbers. So you're potentially looking at if they go in and they repeat. And I mean they lost to the Warriors, but still that team was legit.
They were right there.
Right there. So man, it's a bit sad, man. But that's where the league is, man. So what else is going on right now, man? In the Western Conference, we've had the Jazz fading a bit. They were a bit closer. The Grizzlies have been on a tear, of course, and that's kind of changed the outlook of the West. The Warriors, they're sort of, I want to say, very close to the Warriors, and the Warriors are not very consistent at the moment.
I mean, they're a little injury prone at the moment because Draymond is still out. Yeah. Clay still in and out of games.
Trying to get in. Yep.
Just a precautionary measure. And Steph still has this lingering injury that keeps him out like every couple of games.
Right. Right.
also. So I mean, they're going through that. So I don't. The thing is with Warriors, they don't see being number 2 as a bad thing.
No, it's not. It's
right?
not.
They don't see that as being a bad thing, or even I mean, they won't mind being number 1, 2, or 3 once they reach the playoffs because they know. If you ask Draymond, they know they could turn it on at any time. Doesn't matter who they play, you always got to be ready because wherever you fall in the West, it's going to be a tough matchup.
Yeah. No, that's true.
So
yeah, no,
so that's what's the key.
You know, it's going to be interesting because the play-in right now, you have the Trailblazers in 10.
Yep.
You know, and I think the Lakers have to be careful because the longer you linger in that 9-10 position, the more comfortable you get in being in that play-in position. I think they're a team that can be dangerous in a series. I'm not sure about a one-off.
Yeah, in a one game is going to be difficult.
As good
all
as
depends on who they play.
Exactly, and as good as LeBron has been in his career, if you're a guy that has followed LeBron, you'll see that he's been a guy that always has a feel-out game against teams.
Yes.
So he loses a lot of those first games. Yes. I'm not saying it's down to one player, but his performance changes and adapts to teams. Looks at how their coaching plays and execution, and then makes his adjustments on the court based on the way he plays. That doesn't speak well for a one-off type deal, especially in the playoffs where you have to go back-to-back against two different teams. And plus an older team playing in very close proximity to teams at playoff intensity doesn't bode well for older players, for me. You know, but we'll see how that turns out.
Experience, man. They got experience.
Experience, yeah, but experience is you know, especially at that age, man, it's a lot of different things going on, and if they don't gel, if these injuries continue to happen as they are right now, and they don't get a none or, you know, maybe some added pieces to really get going, or even some improved rotations to help this team, then they won't have any rhythm going into a potential play-in period. I would see them beating the Trailblazers,
right.
You know, but I would be a little more concerned if it was the Spurs I was playing, because Pop is just Pop at the end of the day.
I mean, we still have time.
There's a lot of time. A lot of time.
4 or 5 games behind.
Yeah, the two games back, I believe, right?
Oh, okay. Well,
and yeah, I would be more concerned if it was more of a Pops or even a Kings. That, you know, the Kings are not consistent.
No,
but I mean, the youth they have and the pieces they have can be a problem for the team.
Exactly. Which they've shown in the last matchup.
They've shown it. Yeah.
So I mean, if the playoffs were to start now, it would be 7 versus 8, which is Wolves versus the Clippers.
Yeah.
9 versus 10, Lakers Trailblazers. I mean, are you taking the Lakers to win, or are you taking the Wolves to beat the Clippers?
I'm taking. So you're asking if, you know, as it stands here, if I would take in that 7-8. So in that 7-8, I'm taking the Timberwolves, definitely.
Okay.
If the Timberwolves are healthy.
Right. So the Timberwolves stay at 7. Then the Clippers have to play the winner of the Lakers and Trailblazers.
If the Clips, so I'll give you a nightmare scenario for the Lakers, right?
Right.
If Kawhi is on course to come back, they said March. So he comes back in March, gets a month under his belt.
That's enough time?
It may not be, but here's the thing, right? The Clips, as they are, can they beat Lakers in a head-to-head match? I'd say I'd be happy if I'm the Lakers.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say
in one game they could.
Yeah, I think so. But in a series as they are constructed right now without their stars, no. But the Lakers are just, if I'm having to base this right now, based on how they're playing right now, the Lakers are terrible, man. Terrible. You know? Shout out to Teddy Rhymes.
Them dimes.
He says Lakers are fine. LeBron took a fake injury to go back to LA for the Rams and 49ers game. Man. You know what? I mean, you could argue that, right? But you can't deny, man, they're playing terrible basketball right now, man. Terrible basketball. And they have so many reasons, too, to, for that terrible basketball. The coaching, the different players not gelling right. It's injuries, COVID. I mean,
you could say that the players not gelling right is because of the coaching.
Yeah.
Because they're overlapping.
Yeah,
like you're doing what I'm doing, so what am I supposed to do? Kind of thing.
Right.
So,
but they knew that. That's the job of the front office to make sure none of that stuff actually continues to happen. But that's exactly what we're seeing, right? It's like,
I mean, the roster isn't a great roster.
No, it's not.
Really it's not conducive.
It's not.
And plus, the coaching itself doesn't help.
Doesn't help in any way, shape, or form. And you look down the line to the assistant. Well, let's use the assistant coach. I don't trust that assistant coach. No, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I noticed a lot of people are actually fans of him, but to be honest,
you don't like Fizz, dog?
No.
What did Fizz ever do to you?
He didn't do anything to me. It's just about evaluating his game. I don't his game and rotations. I'm just not a fan. Never been. I just don't rate him. So for me, from my end, and I respect him at the end of the day, but for me, I think they need a new head coach. They just need to go to the market and try something else.
I don't understand, why is it so hard? Like, not just for the Lakers, right? But why is it so hard for teams to just, like, you acknowledge your strengths, and you play towards it, right? Like, that's what Pop does in most of Spurs teams. He sees what talents he has on the team, and he adjusts his offense and defense around that.
Exactly.
So he lets those guys do what they have to do and what they're good at.
That's
why is it so difficult for most teams? Why does everyone want to be like the Warriors?
Honestly, I honestly don't get it.
You don't have two of the top 5 shooting two of the top 5 shooters of all time. You don't have them on your team. So why are you trying to be exactly like them?
I honestly don't get it. And it's kind of sad because in this case you're looking at a lot of players cresting in their careers, right? And you want to see players being able to have a chance to be competitive. So you have this huge collection of players that have gone past 33, right? On the Lakers, you have guys, Melo. These are all franchise players in their own right that have, passed their peak. And you want to see them get a chance to compete. And in the system they're in, you just know that that's not happening. At one point, I was looking at the game and, the Lakers, and I forgot who they were exactly playing. And I'm looking at Melo, like, just sinking baskets in the post. And I'm like, you have more points right here. You have more offense right here.
You feed him until they stop it.
Exactly. And LeBron is able to
simple
rest.
Basketball.
I can't.
That is simple basketball. You feed the mismatch until they switch or until they make an adjustment. That's how you play basketball. Until they can stop you from just doing a simple post move, then all right, cool. Let's just keep going. Keep going.
It goes back to our feeling when we saw this team being assembled on paper, right? When we saw this team being assembled, we looked at the offensive potential and we were like, ooh, yes, you're older, but you got guys that can light it up.
They Melo, have guys that could put numbers up.
Yeah, we're like Melo, Braun. That combination alone should send shivers
points
down your spine. Because Melo still, you look at Melo's game, he could shoot it lights out from 3 right now. Better than he has in a long time. Right?
Yeah, but and even when he broke the record on the Olympic team, he's shooting much better.
Exactly. And then his post game looks like it's untouched, still pristine. and they're not using him. He's still underutilized. And then you're putting the hands in the ball of a slasher that's, don't get me wrong, right? Westbrook can still do what Westbrook does, but he needs the ball a lot. And to me, when I look at the trade-off in turnovers and other things, man, let Westbrook get piece of the second unit, man. I don't care if we're paying him $40 million. Flex your rotation. It shouldn't have had to be the front office coming to Frank Vogel and telling him, well, hey, you got the green light to bench this guy. No, I'm benching him regardless of green light. I'm the coach of this team. Why did you hire me then? But Vogel does not have that flexibility in his roster. Now, I think Teddy's typing something here. He says, honestly, if Westbrook step up like he should, no one beats in the Lakers the way
how LeBron is playing.
I think that's how LeBron is playing, right?
Yeah,
I was like, well, yeah. And AD is currently preached. Yeah, no, definitely, man. Yeah, it's Westbrook has to step up, but the thing is, how much time are you gonna give that player, to actually step up?
Like I've said before, give him until the second half of the season. He normally switches out on the second half of the season. He gets down, dirt and gritty, but let's not forget, he has changed the way he's played, right? A lot. Since he's joined the Lakers.
Yeah.
They ask him to bring down turnovers. He's brought down turnovers. The only thing that he really hasn't stopped is those horrible shots.
Yeah.
But I'm going to let him get the pass. What night it was when he was playing the Hornets?
Yeah.
I'm going to let him get the pass on that night because he's the only one that was scoring points. He came and knocked down 2 3-pointers in a row. Yeah, shut up. All right? He came down 2 3-pointers. I said if LeBron was playing it, then it would be victory. But clearly he didn't play. You got lucky.
That's a hot take. I'm gonna take some popcorn on that. You still grab the L, man. You doesn't get any points from me on that.
All right. Okay.
But I get what you're saying though. I do respect the take though. I do respect the take. That's just me.
No, but yeah, for real, like if he like I'm not upset that he took the shot there. There are nights where you have it, but I guess in his mind he has it all the time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Right? So it's not a case where I'm gonna take 5 shots, I miss 5, and I'm not gonna take number 6. He's gonna Kobe that thing, if I miss 5, then I'm gonna make number 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's something that they have to resolve, and he definitely, and to his credit, he's brought down the turnovers, right? He's adjusted and brought down the turnovers, like you said. But what ultimately needs to happen is the transition to getting W's. No matter who's on the court, you have to have a system of play that wins you games, and that points towards the coach. That is definitely an indication that your coach is not getting the most out of this team. The way this team is constructed, yes, we can argue that it's horribly constructed. However, you have some pieces that they're workable, and in fact, they're so good on paper that they negate any potential excuse that you can make as a head coach. You have to win games. And the fact that this team is struggling at the bottom of the West and have been beaten consistently by teams behind them, like the Kings. The Kings have beaten them like twice this season. And it could have been twice at home, by the way. So that, it's kind of weird, but NBA teams don't treat rivalries the same way that, other sports do. Other coaches would have been fired for that, but
definitely.
So
that's actually a good point, because let's say Arsenal versus Man U and we lose 2 times,
you're
Arteta
done.
Out, yo.
You're done.
Arteta out.
You're done. And let's say it's a weaker version of Man United, right?
Yeah, so like it's a B team.
God. So you're in trouble. That because that speaks volumes about your coaching performance, right? So exactly. It's one of those things. Just want to put it back out there that we do have a good lineup, a great lineup, a legendary lineup coming in to you on Thursday. So just want to raise that again. We have
Jaguar is
the
coming,
Jaguar.
guys.
We have Karani James, people. We have Kyron Batiste coming in on the show. And we really want you to tune in, ask questions, be a part of the conversation, and, just try to enjoy it. So join us, please, on, Thursday. Should be a great show. And we look forward to having you on there. Okay?
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be real good.
Yeah, it should be good. Can't wait to dive in, man. It's amazing how deep the sport is and how much there is to learn and really what this gentleman has been through, that journey. We talk about basketball a lot, but the journey in athletics is just as treacherous, and the fact that he's made it and is competing at such a high level speaks volumes, right? So a lot of things that we're going to be touching on. We're going to have some fun. Just really looking forward to this episode. So please join us. You're not going to be disappointed.
Facts. That is facts.
Yep.
I'm still speechless.
Yeah.
I'm a little excited.
I know, man. I know. It should be good, man. It should be good. I'm really looking forward to, definitely driving that show forward and catch us same time. It's going to be 8:30 Eastern, 9:30 if you're in the Caribbean islands like Grenada and the Caribbean. Yep. And if you're in the Midwest, it should be 7:30. Okay. So, yeah. No, we're looking forward to that. So what we got today, man? You got anything for us? Any stats? Anything? I'm wondering if for the show on Thursday, if we need to put you through that, maybe after the show, then we can do some bets and stuff. But definitely, yeah, we can look forward to that. But yeah. So you grab the paper. What's going on?
No, just I want to know if we're doing a Betty today.
Okay.
So I could get back on my winning streak.
Man, all right. Let's get that in line, man. Drop it. So what's the games going on right now? So we've got
right now?
Well, not now, but tomorrow. I think we got the Magic Pacers. So who do you have?
Yeah, Magic Pacers. I got Pacers.
I got Pacers as well. Yeah. 76ers,
Wizards.
76ers. I'll go with the 76ers.
Come on, son. You can't take the same people. All right, 76ers.
I mean, Hornets, Celtics. Ooh. Yeah.
See.
I'll let you pick, and actually, whatever you pick, I'll take the opposite team. So you want to pick the Hornets. Tough. Go for it, man.
I really do want to take the Hornets.
So go for it, man.
I'm gonna take the Hornets.
I'll take the Celtics. No problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
And Grizzlies, Knicks.
That's Grizzlies.
Yeah, Grizzlies definitely. Cavaliers, Rockets.
I got Cavs.
I'll take the Cavs.
Okay, I was about to say if you take the Rockets. What?
Yeah. Thunder, Mavericks.
Thunder, Mavericks. Thunder. I gotta go with Luka.
You gonna go with Luka?
Yeah.
Okay. I think so. Teddy said the Grizz, Hornets. He says the Mavs. I'm definitely going with the Mavs for sure on that.
Yeah.
Nets, Kings.
Kyrie's gonna be playing.
You know what? I see that as give me the Kings in that matchup.
What?
Give me the Kings. Yeah, give me the Kings. Give me the Kings, man. I think they lose. Where do they play away because Kyrie's playing? So yeah, I think those guys step up for that game, man. They love playing big teams, man. So I think give me the Kings.
Actually, that's a fact though. They really adjust their game to another level when they play bigger teams.
Yeah, it's just that they're not consistent. That's
exactly.
the only thing. So Teddy's with you with the Nets, I think. So
gotta be the Nets, though.
Yeah, man.
Nuggets or Jazz.
So that's a L. If you're willing to join him, man. I mean, he's been losing so many of these, man. You might as well call us Drink Champs Volume 2, man. I'm telling you, this guy's been drinking on every show.
This guy just likes to gloat. Like to gloat. Man.
Right. It's okay. So What else are we looking at? We looking at the Nuggets, Jazz. That's an interesting matchup, man, because the Jazz haven't been on the greatest run lately.
I got the Nuggets. I'm gonna go out real quick.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Give me the Jazz.
All right. And lastly, Blazers Lakers.
We got a playing game, man.
I really want to say the Lakers, but at the same time, I really want to say the Blazers.
They've been terrible, man. They've been terrible, man.
I'm gonna take. Every time I take the Lakers, they lose.
Yeah, so take the Blazers then. I'm gonna take the Lakers. I take the Lakers.
I'm gonna take the Blazers. I'm gonna take the Blazers.
Yeah, I'm with Teddy on this one, man. I'm definitely going with the Lakers on this one.
So we got 4 games that are separate.
Yeah, yes, sir. We do.
So
all right.
Good.
All right. So more than enough to get me on that second win. Yeah.
Hopefully, because we'll see. We might split.
Yeah. The only one I'm really concerned about is that Celtics Hornets, but I think I got it.
Yes.
I think I got it.
I agree. That's the only real one I'm really concerned about.
Yeah, that's a toss up.
That's a toss up. That game could legit go anywhere. Because if Tatum and Brown come out to play,
yeah, you're in
Hornets
some
winning.
Trouble. You're in some trouble, but yeah, the injuries and everything, guys missing games. You just don't know what lineup is going to be available, to be honest, game to game.
And actually, with the Hornets, I just remembered, I think Hayward is still out with COVID protocols.
Yeah, there you go.
Forgot about that.
I might be in there.
Yeah, you might get that one.
Better keep that fresh bottle ready then. I'm telling you. Well, yeah, Teddy's right. So, with Russell having things to prove, AD back, as you pointed out when they faced the Hornets, that was a good game, right? So, I mean,
it was a great game.
They really pushed
Hayward was out that time too.
Yeah. So let's see how that goes, man. But I think I got this. I think
we'll see Thursday.
So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see Thursday. So definitely, folks, remember to tune in on Thursday. We got the Jaguar and Kyron Batiste joining us. Again, this is a big one. We're excited to have everyone on board. And, from here, as I said, this experiment, this podcast, this, the growth, the evolution, keep looking towards big things, man. Keep looking forward. There's a lot happening. So behind the scenes, we're constantly working to, really not stay stagnant. So really pay attention to what's happening. And I hope you can definitely share the content that you're viewing. But yeah, should be a good February 3rd.
I can't wait. It should be a great interview. Should be a good conversation. Yeah, that's right. Gonna mix it up. Real good conversation.
That's right. All right. Well, no. So I basically, it's gonna be prep time from here to get ready. So definitely, we may have a few posts. I'm hoping that I could finally give away, that I think it's like 2 months worth of Game Pass for Xbox on that show. So
I want it.
Based on if you drop a solid question that beats everybody in the comments for that show, I think you got it. So let's look at that. But it can only work if you haven't had it before. So if you've used Game Pass before, it's not gonna work. So it's got to be somebody who's new to it.
That's not me.
Yeah, let's see how that goes.
Yeah, don't worry. I might drop a question in the for group someone tomorrow else to see if somebody could win it.
Yeah. Most def. So look out for that question. As I said, if you do see a random question, it might be for a prize. All right. So definitely. So with that said, I think we could tie it up and start prep for the big one in 2 days. But I want to thank shout out to Teddy for joining us again here. All the people that are gonna check that's right. And all the people that are gonna join us on the show via on demand. He'll have Google ready for the question. Hey, we go deeper than Google, man. Hey, we go with some questions there, man. Trust me, you're gonna have to be in the library, man. I'm telling you. But look out for it for sure, man. Look out for it for sure. But definitely, I want to thank everyone for joining us, and we look forward to having you on the big show coming in next week. Not next week, this week, Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday
should be a good one to really tune into. All right, much love, man. Much love. This is
see y'all Thursday.
The Collective Bargaining
Podcast.
You already know. You already know. All right, folks. Peace out.